Imagine investing in these superstars before they ever broke out. This is the place. This is where you come to know who to invest in on Mojo, the sports stock market. So make sure you tap in. The Opening Bell, hosted by Ray GQ and your boy Jay Rich. Let's make some money.
Let's get it. Welcome in, everybody, to the Opening Bell. It's your boy Ray G, joined as always by my man Jay Rich. This is the Opening Bell over here on the Mojo YouTube channel. If you are new to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, like the content. That way, every time one of the dope content creators over here at Mojo drops a video, get that bad boy right to your phone, tablet, iPad. You ain't got to look for it. Boom, right there on your stuff. And Jay, another weekend of the NFL in the books, baby. This was a wild weekend. We saw NFL history. We're seeing a potential new NFL MVP. We're seeing some of the old fan favorites from the great state of New Jersey. So New Jersey, New York, wherever the hell they play at. Your boy, Zach Wilson, back under the saddle for the Jets, Jay. The Giants with a big win last night. My Cowboys falling to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Houston Texans taking another top team to the brink of an L this past weekend. Jay, it was a wild one, man.
Yeah, one of the craziest weekends we've seen in the NFL in some time. Obviously started with a bang with Kirk Cousins coming back down 33 points to the Indianapolis Colts and ending with a big win by the Giants. Obviously, we do have a game tonight between the Rams and the Packers. Not super excited for it, but we'll see. A lot to get into. But Ray, I think the biggest story, and especially for us here on Mojo, has to be Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
He finally returned, right? So we started last game.
Mike
White was injured. We did. We talked about it. We talked about how Mike White was injured, and we probably saw Zach Wilson this week. He obviously did start 300-yard game, right? Got the ball to Garrett Wilson like we hoped for and played good enough, right? He's up over 10% in the past week. Part of that is because he was down due to not playing. Now he's back as the starter. And Ray, he was also announced to probably be the starter going forward as well. At least this week. They play Thursday night. So we are expecting Zach Wilson to play 18 for 35, 317, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 4 sacks, which, you know, we want him to clean up, but we kind of expect that from Zach Wilson, but got the ball to Garrett Wilson, which was the main thing we were looking for. How did you feel about Zach Wilson's performance against the Lions? Because the Lions defense isn't good, but I thought he still played pretty well considering the circumstances either way.
I think you see the flashes, man. This is probably, there were some throws that he made towards the end of that game, Jay, where I'm like, that's incredible. The arm talent is there. And I saw a couple of people on Twitter saying if the Jets coaching staff can't figure out a way to groom this kid and get the most out of him, it's a shame on them because he's got the talent, right? It's never been an issue of talent for Zach Wilson. Even that final play where he scrambled and bought some time to throw it across body to Elijah Moore, like he's an athletic kid. He's got all the arm strength in the world. He made the pro day throw, Jay. The throw that we see all these quarterback prospects do in their underwear and T-shirts where they roll out, throw it across field. He actually executed that in the game, and he scored a touchdown to C.J. Uzomah cross body, right, cross the field. What did I think about his performance? I thought it was fine from the spanking and the punishment that he got, where he had to sit there and look like Anakin Skywalker on the sideline, watching Mike White have that success versus the Bears, have success versus the Vikings, and watch his team rally around, his backup. I thought he came in and he played admirably. I thought he did a decent enough job to warrant additional starts. They asked Zach Wilson after the game, the media said, they asked him flat out, do you think you did enough in this game to earn a start next week? And Wilson's answer, it was much like it started off just like the answer that he gave where he got his ass benched. He was like, no, I'm not here to talk about that. I know, I should play better. It's a week-to-week thing. That's not my decision to make. All I can do is go out there and try to put our team in position to win. We didn't do that. I didn't do that. Got to be better moving forward. So apparently over this 2-3 week benching, he's had some media training, and he answered that question like a professional. But when you look on Mojo right now, over the last 24 hours, he's up 2.26%. And over the past week, Jay, Zach Wilson is up 14.37%. So I do think that, we kind of talked about it. I think this is an opportunity to, I wouldn't be shorting Zach Wilson. He's got a short week, right? They've got the Jacksonville Jaguars up next.
Yep.
And then he's got the Seattle Seahawks. And I think they close out the season against Miami, whom they've already beaten one time. And the Jets are right there as a fringe wild card team. So, if he wins out, maybe with a little bit of help here and there, you're talking about a playoff team and Zach Wilson starting to rehabilitate his image, his value, his perception. Right now at only $23.98. I don't know if I feel good enough to say I'm going long Zach Wilson, but I definitely wouldn't be shorting Zach Wilson right now.
So I want you to look up the price for one other player because I have to ask you a very specific question. And it goes to the other debacle that we saw outside of the Cowboys game, and that is the Raiders game. We are wearing the Raiders sweater right now, supporting the Las Vegas Raiders. And we're talking about Mac Jones, Ray, because they are both from the same quarterback class. Zach Wilson obviously went number 2, and Mac Jones went number 15 to the New England Patriots. For a long time, I was very much in the camp that we should probably be going longer on Mac Jones than on Zach Wilson. But based on what we're seeing right now, I do think there is a case that could be made, Ray, that potentially we may want Zach Wilson potentially over the long term over Mac Jones. And that's what I'm curious about is kind of how the market feel about him because he did not play well. You talked about it earlier. QBR of 12, which is pretty much as bad as it gets. He didn't look good. The play by Jacoby Myers probably deserved him to drop about 50% on the Mojo market. Now, it didn't, but it was a terrific play that ultimately cost him the game. But my question for you is, how do you feel about Zach Wilson and Mac Jones today? Because I think the sentiment has changed a lot over the last 24 hours.
Well, over the last 24 hours, I can tell you Mac Jones is down 4.17%. Price is right now $28.49. That is a tick lower than Justin Fields, $29.11. And a little bit higher than the quarterback that we'll see tonight, Baker Mayfield, $28.40. So you're talking about Mac Jones already having $5 more of mojo value in the market than Zach Wilson. And Jay, if I'm looking at these two quarterbacks and I'm thinking, which one do I believe has the longer NFL future to actually bank some stats? And there's no doubt that Zach Wilson is more talented than Mac Jones. Like I don't think we're even debating that. I think Mac Jones is, how do I say it? Is he a better leader? Yes, he's probably a better leader than Zach Wilson. But I think I would rather bank on Zach Wilson. Here's the thing. He's going to get an opportunity again, man. He's going to get an opportunity, whether that's in New York, whether that's somewhere else. He's going to get an opportunity to be the guy again. Mac Jones, he feels like Baker Mayfield without being the number 1 overall pick. Like, I don't know if let's just say things don't work out in New England and they trade him. I don't know if he outright gets a job anywhere that he's traded to, right? I don't know if that's to be the case. He feels like one of those guys that if he doesn't figure it out in New England, he's just kind of like a backup kind of quarterback, right? Maybe he takes that backup role, he sits for a little bit, and he gets a chance to go in there and through time and osmosis, I guess, that he just absorbs some information. He's able to get it done in the future, but I do think I would rather have long-term Zach Wilson over Mac Jones long-term because I know he can throw the ball. Like, I know that's not the issue. He can make every single throw that there is to make. It's the mentals, man. Is he going to figure it out up here and be able to string together plays consistently? And that's what I'm not sure of with Zach Wilson. But that's part of the coaching staff's job to get him to that point to do that. So Mac Jones already $9.03 of bank value on Mojo. They're predicting about $19.46 in future value for him. So it's an interesting, all these little quarterbacks, man. And we can talk, let's just go to the other New York team. Let's talk about the Giants. We saw the Giants play last night. Big win versus the Washington Commanders. NFC East just running that wild card spot right now. Dallas clinched. So thank you to the Giants. The Dallas Cowboys did clinch a playoff spot. But Daniel Jones, Jay, listen, there was a drive. I think he had a 98-yard drive, just methodical. Daniel Jones just dealing to the worst receiving core in the NFL. Richie James, Isaiah Hodgins, Kenny Golladay, and Darius Slayton. And there's times where I'm like, hell yeah, he looks like the guy. You know, Chris Collinsworth on the broadcast, they're like, yes, they need to bring him back. Schoen needs to re-sign him, bring back Jones, bring back Saquon Barkley. Where are you at with Daniel Jones, man, and his value right now in the market? $26.83. for Daniel Jones. So, I mean, Mac Jones has higher value right now. Mac Jones is priced higher than Daniel Jones. You asked me Zach Wilson versus Mac Jones. I'm going to kick it back to you. Daniel Jones or Mac Jones? Long term, which one do you have more confidence in?
It's very difficult. I think Daniel Jones is one of the hardest players to peg on the market because he's playing just well enough that he's not benchable. He's not a guy you have to get rid of, but he's not playing so well statistically that makes me say, yeah, he's going to be the guy long term. Now, what's helping him is they're winning games, right? They're 8-5. They're pretty much locked into the 6 or 7 seed in the NFC, which is great for the Giants and great for Daniel Jones. But 21 for 32, which is fine, 160 through the air and 35 on the ground is fine, right? It's better than Mac Jones looked, frankly. I think I'm with you that Mac Jones is probably still a little bit overpriced, and I probably would prefer Daniel Jones. The problem for me and what I'm trying to figure out, Ray, and maybe you can help me with this, is what is the actual outlook for Daniel Jones? Because right now we're banking on him playing, I think, about a season and a half on Mojo versus, with his banked value versus actual value or relative value, projected value. So the thing for me is that I think that he probably gets re-signed, but I don't know if he has more than 2 years of runway with that extension. I think it's probably 2 years guaranteed, potentially room for 3 and 4, but it's still a Saquon Barkley show. I think Dable will protect him a little bit. But to your point, he needs somebody. They tried to bring Kenny Golladay. It didn't work. Doesn't matter. You can't just continue to use the same players they have. They have to bring guys in to help Daniel Jones or help whoever the quarterback is. And I think based off those two quarterbacks, I'd be willing to bet on Daniel Jones over Mac Jones because I just have zero confidence in the Patriots' ability to build around Mac Jones. And the way he's looking like his best season might have been the rookie season, right? Baker Mayfield's best season to some degree was his rookie season. He looked good in his second season as well, but to some degree, his best season was his rookie year. And from that perspective, I think you're right. There is a world where maybe they just decide to cut ties and move on and not give him the 5th-year option. Daniel Jones, he's already right at the end of his rookie year. They already declined his 5th-year option, but I think they will have to re-sign him, and I think that gives him at least 2 more years or at least a year and a half to continue to build on that Mojo value long term.
Can you want to take a guess of Daniel Jones's value over the course of a year? Let's just go a year. Daniel Jones's value over a year with the Giants being now 8-5, I believe their record is on the season. 8-5. They're probably going to be in the playoffs. Where do you think Daniel Jones's value is right now over the course of a year? Percent up or down?
I'd probably say he's up 30 or 40%. I think he probably was right around $18, maybe a little bit higher than that, to be honest, because we know the floor for starting quarterbacks around $20.
Okay.
So then maybe I'd probably say up about 30, 40%.
So I'll say this. A year ago, $36.69 for Daniel Jones. All right. Where do you think his value has gone through the course of the season? Let's go there. Over a year. $36.69.
It has to have gone down, right? Like, is he more than $36 right now?
Daniel Jones over the course of a year is down 26.88%. And that's with him playing. So I say that to say the community sentiment on him. This is what's scary. I think Daniel Jones is going to be a case of he's probably a lot better than the market will ever adjust for, right? He's probably a lot better player and probably deserves a little more respect than the market is actually giving him. The fact that he's down this much, and over the past month, he's down 2.15%, Jay, over the past month. And, you know, we know that he doesn't have the weapons. We know that the receiving core is bad, but yet that is still being counted against him. He's winning games. I'm very curious to see what happens if the Giants get in the playoffs and win a game. What happens to his value? He gets the long-term deal. Will it flatline? Will it stay? Like these are companies. I'm calling them companies, players that I just don't want to. I don't want to invest in these flat assets, right? That I feel that no matter what they do, they're going to stay at this threshold. Like he's in that category to where I think he's probably a lot better player than he'll ever get credit for, and that the market will ever adjust for.
Yeah, I mean, he's 16th in passing right now in the NFL, playing with these players, right? He's also thrown the fewest interceptions in the NFL. He's only thrown 4, which is tied for first. So from that standpoint, like what you want to do on Mojo, you want quarterbacks that don't take sacks, don't turn the ball over. Again, the yardage isn't quite there for him right now, but then you want the touchdowns as well, right? Those are the two kind of the big factors here. He gets sacked a decent amount, which isn't great for him, but outside of that, I think he has been performing adequately to where he probably deserves to go up. But I think to your point, being in New Jersey and licensed in New Jersey, there's probably a lot of sour grapes directed towards Daniel Jones's way, because no matter how good he's been, the first 3 years have been god-awful for him. And so there's still people who aren't quite bought in yet. Some people are, but I'm sure there's still a lot of people that are happy to short Daniel Jones because they don't think he's the quarterback long-term. And even though we may believe that, the sentiment around Daniel Jones may still be too stinky for us to invest long-term.
Yeah, man, he's got over 3,100 total yards this year, 583 rushing yards on the season for Daniel Jones, 5 touchdowns in that department, 2,600, almost 2,700 passing yards. He's one where even with the extension, I don't know, Jay, how much the market's going to adjust for Daniel Jones. Now, we talked about on our earlier show on Wake Up, the NFL MVP between Hurts and Mahomes and Allen and Joe Burrow. Who's the front runner for NFL MVP right now, Jay?
Still your boy Jalen Hurts, minus 150.
And I keep telling people, go long Jalen Hurts. And you know what? Jalen Hurts' price over the past week is down, Jay. Not a ton, but he's down 0.43%. He is it is red. I'm in the listen, I'm in the market. It's red. Jalen Hurts, past week, Jay, it's down. He's only up 3% over the past month, Jay, and he's the front runner for NFL. Like, go long. Didn't we say this last week? Did we not say this last week?
We've been saying it for weeks, and nothing's changed. What, Ray, the 300 yards that he threw for wasn't enough for people?
No.
The 3 rushing wasn't enough for people?
No. He had 2 picks. Did you not see the 2 interceptions?
2 picks. He'll be fine.
That's slight work in the NFL. People throw picks. This is a player still sub $60, Jay. $58 for Jalen Hurts in the market. $58.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. He's gonna win MVP.
Jay,
they're gonna be up.
Do you want to know what the multiplier is on Jalen Hurts?
It's got to be at least a 5x.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5x multiplier on Jalen Hurts.
Take it
at sub $60. Jay,
that's crazy.
We're gonna talk about this, y'all. Until you guys go out and do it, we are going to hammer this into your skull from now until the end of the season. Jalen Hurts is minus what to win the NFL MVP?
Minus 150. That's on DraftKings right now.
And would you venture to say that probably the big signature game is this Christmas Eve versus Dallas?
This week.
He gets it done versus Dallas. Do you think that pretty much wraps it up for him for the most part?
Yeah, I think at that point they clinch number 1 seed.
They're 14-1. They've wrapped up the number 1 seed.
Probably wins the MVP after that.
I don't know how much he'll play in the final game versus the Giants. They may not even play him. Who do they play right before the Giants? It's Dallas. Who do they have right before?
Is it the Saints? Might be
the Saints.
Is it the Saints?
It's the Saints, and we know he's cooked the Saints in the past. And then they may rush versus the Giants. But this is the signature game. Christmas Eve game versus the Dallas Cowboys. I believe the game is in Dallas. So Jalen Hurts coming back home to Texas in Jerry World. He gets it done versus a depleted defense. Dallas just lost Leighton Vander Esch. Kelvin Joseph isn't very good. They lost Anthony Brown, their other starting cornerback, to a torn Achilles tendon. They have no pass rush right now. Jay, Dak Prescott's throwing picks left and right. Jalen Hurts gets it done versus Dallas on Christmas Eve. They might as well send him an early Christmas gift for the next day of NFL MVP. And this is the beauty of going through this Mojo journey together in year 1, is I really want to know, because we didn't see from the collegiate standpoint, the Heisman didn't do a ton for Caleb Williams, right? It didn't do a lot. And I think part of that is just college is still, NFL is still king, right? No matter how much we love the college game, I still think a large contingency of people really don't care about Caleb Williams until it's time for him to go to the NFL draft. But the NFL and the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. I want to know how this MVP is going to affect his price, because this might be, Jay, this might be the last time you ever get Hurts under $60. This week may be the last time you're ever able to invest in Jalen Hurts ever under sub $60. It may after this week versus Dallas, he goes out there and puts foot in the Dallas Cowboys, sub $60 may be gone forever for Jalen Hurts. So this is truly potentially a final buying go long opportunity on Jalen Hurts. You know he's going to show up for that game versus Dallas, because Philly always shows up versus Dallas. You know he's going to do his thing. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got Devontae Smith playing out of their mind. Dallas is depleted on the defensive side of the ball, and they're not generating a pass rush. And you can put a 5X multiplier on that, Jay?
Do it.
But the train is about to leave the station. It's about to leave the station. And I'm telling the people out there to go long Jalen Hurts. This might be it, Jay.
I mean, Ray, to your point, last time he played in Dallas, 25 for 39, 326, and 2 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks in that one. But again, I expect a much more positive game script for the Eagles in this one, opposed to what they faced last time where they lost 41-21 to Dallas. It'll be a tight game. It's Fox Game of the Week on Saturday. It's going to be a very highly watched game, one of the most anticipated games of the year. And I think that's the key here as well. Primetime game. All eyes on Jalen Hurts. If he shows out, his price is going to just skyrocket. I'm totally with you 100%.
All right, there it is. Go long Jalen Hurts. I'm telling you, probably your final opportunity to get him sub $60. Jay, we got Monday night game. LA Rams going to Lambeau Field. Coldest game that they're ever going to play in. What do you think is going to happen in this one? Give us a player to invest in. Who you going long on? Who you shorting tonight in this game? We didn't do it last week because we didn't want to play around with that Monday night game. What was it? New England versus, what was it? The Patriots played on Monday night. It was Patriots. Yeah. Who'd they play? Patriot. I don't even know. I don't even remember who the hell they played, but we stayed away from it. What do you want to do in this one, man?
I'm going after Ben Skoranek, man. I think Ben Skoranek's going to have another big game. He had a big game last week. I think Baker Mayfield's already shown he wants to get him the ball. I think Skoranek is probably the guy you want to invest in. He'll probably give you a solid multiplier on top of that. Baker Mayfield showed he wants to get him the ball. I think he'll be the number 1 target. We know Cooper Kupp's not there. Ben Skoranek's going to kind of fill that void. I think he'll do a good job. I don't expect them to be up in this game. The Packers should dominate. You know, we say that, but sometimes they just don't show up. I think at Lambeau, A-Rod is still trying to make the playoffs, so there is still that factor of it all. But I think that Ben Skoranek is the guy you want to buy into because he will probably have another good game this week, regardless of whether they're in a positive or negative game script.
And I'm going with the wide receiver as well, but on the other side of the ball, Romeo Doubs is back. Romeo Doubs is back for the Green Bay Packers. Right now, it's just gray. It's just gray across the board for Romeo Doubs. Over the past week, he's up about 0.76% in the Mojo market. His price, $4.93. Getting him back, another weapon for Aaron Rodgers. Romeo Doubs getting the end zone. See that price rise up a little bit. He's a young rookie. I kind of like it for Romeo Doubs tonight. So there we go. Ben Skoranek, Romeo Doubs, 2 players to go long on, and they both have multipliers. 3X multipliers on 2X for Romeo Doubs, 3X for Ben Skoranek are the multipliers on those. But the biggest multiplier and the multiplier that you got to take advantage of this week, 5 freaking X Jalen Hurts. Go get it. Have yourself a Merry Christmas, Jay. I think next Monday is Christmas Day, so I don't think we'll be doing the show next week. So we'll figure something out, man, and get the good people some content to watch over the holiday break. But for Mojo, for Ray, for Jay, for the opening bell, we're out of this thing, man. Y'all enjoy. Have a happy holiday, and if you celebrate Christmas, have a merry one of those as well. And if not, we'll be back and catch y'all real soon. We out. Peace.
Keep going.